Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 long months of silence, the Ma Xingrui case has finally been made public. And with that announcement, he has become the third member of the Politburo to fall since the 20th Party Congress, following Li Shangfu and He Weidong. Now think about that for a moment. The Politburo, the very core of power, is no longer stable. It is collapsing, piece by piece. If this trend continues, it is entirely possible that one or even two more members could be taken down before the next major political milestone. And this leads us to a striking conclusion. Being a member of the Politburo is no longer a shield of protection. It has become exactly what it looks like, a high-risk position. But what makes this case even more intriguing is not just who fell, but how it was announced. In the official statement, even the word comrade was removed. Now that may sound like a small detail, but in this political system, it is anything but small. Because this is not just about punishment. It is about stripping identity, removing status, and erasing dignity. It is a signal, clear and deliberate. But here's where things become truly unsettling. What makes this case so unusual and frankly so dangerous is not the corruption itself. We've seen corruption before. We're used to it. Money, power, transactions, that's nothing new. But this time, something different emerged. Ma Xingrui's wife, Rong Li, was reportedly involved in offering insurance policies in places like Hong Kong to the families of senior officials, their spouses, their children. And we're not talking about small sums. We're talking about millions, sometimes tens of millions. The scale is enormous. The network is vast. And the most disturbing part? Those who gave may not even think they were bribing. Those who received may not even believe they were accepting bribes. Everything was wrapped in the language of human relationships, mutual exchanges, normal social interaction. But behind that soft, harmless language was something far more complex, a hidden, deeply interconnected political network. And this is exactly the real issue. Because for Xi Jinping, money itself is not the greatest threat. What truly keeps him awake at night is this kind of network, connections built through Di Shusong, alliances formed through silent understanding, and loyalty secured through shared interests. Ordinary corruption? That's just damage to finances. But factional alliances? That strikes at the very foundation of power. And this is why the case was delayed. Not because there was nothing to find, but because there was too much. The deeper the investigation went, the more connections it revealed. And the more it revealed, the more unsettling it became. Now, if in the past, groups like the so-called Peng faction or Shandong network were still seen as forces with room to maneuver, this case may very well mark a turning point. Because this is no longer about one man falling. It is about an entire network being exposed. A single crack has appeared. And once that crack opens, the stability of the whole structure begins to weaken. Let's be blunt. When Ma Xingrui fell, he didn't fall alone. Behind him is a group of rising elites, people who once held power, influence, and protection. They supported each other, shielded each other, and exchanged benefits. But now, the blade is no longer at just one person's neck. It is moving along the line, one by one. From Xinjiang to Guangdong, the shockwaves are spreading. Officials connected to him are being investigated, one after another. Some have already fallen. Some are waiting. And some are watching in fear. Because at this point, no one knows how far this will go. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes it so powerful. Because when fear replaces certainty at the top, the entire system begins to change. Trust weakens, alliances crack, and power becomes unstable. So in the end, this is not just an anti-corruption campaign. It is something much bigger. It is the unraveling of a network, the exposure of hidden alliances, and perhaps the beginning of a deeper shift within power itself. Thank you.